It was time to hit the road, leaving the house that the babe built back in 27 or so. I'm on my way to Fenway, then Baltimore for a few. Baby, you can catch me at all 162.
Good morning and welcome to the 162 Experience. We are live this morning from Southern California. In the house, we have a special guest, DJ ArtForm, made national headline news. How you doing this morning?
Doing well, gentlemen. Thank you for having me. Appreciate
Welcome
it.
to the show. Steve, how you doing this morning?
I'm great, Benito. Fresh back from Cancun, Mexico.
Cancun, what were you doing there? Tell everybody what's going on.
You know what I was doing there? I was partying, baby. Some of you know I'm a company called Legal Shield, and we have our incentive trip there every year. About 1,000 of us gathered out there, and it was fun. But I hurt my leg, so I'm sitting for this show. I usually stand, in case anybody gives a shit. I am now sitting. But welcome. You know, this is a show about success in business, sports, and life, and we're going to get to them in a few minutes. But just a weird situation transpired a few weeks ago at Petco, and many of you know I go to a lot of games at Petco. Benito works he runs the Tilted Kilt right next door, and we're there all the time. And it's actually, of all the ballparks, and I've been to almost all of them now, it's probably the most fun, and it's because of the guy sitting in our kitchen today.
Oh, man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, and the thing that I've noticed, not just from my own observations, but just from the media and stuff, is that you've been embraced the last couple of weeks. People really seem to like you, and I think that once everything happened and people saw your personality and how you immediately embraced, if there was even a mistake, that people liked you.
Yeah, just exactly what you just tapped on. The response, the support, the love. I mean, you're talking about from strangers across the nation, people that I've coached here in the city, kids that I've coached, the parents, players, coaches within the organization. And to see that response, it really makes you take a step back and say to yourself, okay, I really have an opportunity here to expose more of my heart, you know what I mean? And for people to have that response towards me, it's just like, there's nothing more fulfilling in life than to know that, your passion is being respected and your personality as well. So I couldn't be more grateful to be a DJ in my hometown, especially for my favorite baseball team as well.
Yeah, you see a lot of people handle things, and you see people handle things with class, and I think certainly you've done that.
I appreciate it, yeah. It's like telling people yesterday, even as a baseball player, I'm not going to blame the center fielder for not getting a hit in the sixth inning to bring in the run. I gave up a curveball on a full count. I gave up game 7 and we lost. So, I don't point fingers. I was never that type of ball player. And luckily now people get to see and for me, it was really tough, to transition from, high school, collegiate sports and going into regular life and jumping into a career. And how does that translate, how does that translate into achieving, into pushing yourself into, instead of going to the weight room at 6 a.m., opening up emails at 6:30 or doing extra R&D. So I think that's, one of the things as well that I just thought about right now that we could really learn from young athletes and even as adults, because a lot of us did play sports, whether we did succeed or we didn't succeed. So there's just a lot to kind of to tap from. There's so many facets from this situation that we can really learn from, and that's all I'm really trying to do, is be proactive as possible.
So let's back up just a little bit. When we were talking, I want to say you're a DJ now, playing with the Padres and everything. So right when you finished your baseball career, did you know you were going to be a DJ? Is that what you wanted to do? Or
you know what, music, and it was, as a kid, I grew up, listening to Metallica, a lot of salsa, merengue, a big hip hop head, and my sister was 6 years older than me, so that's one of the coolest things from a younger standpoint, or from a sibling. You really get to pick off of your older brothers and sisters' CDs and tapes, the stuff with the parental advisory on it. You're like, yes, they left it behind. But it was nothing that I personally thought I would be doing. But music was always such a big part of baseball. And once I got done playing baseball, that's when I kind of felt like, I had to do something just as passionate. It's like, what did I love just as much that drove me crazy in a good way? It's like the first thing I do in the morning, and it's the last thing I do.
That's awesome.
And luckily, unfortunately, I tore my ACL, and that's what forced me to actually buy the turntables. And I was sitting there on the side of my bed while I was scratching
Making
and
it
just
happen
going
right
through
there.
records. Yeah. So just like, how do I keep my mind in a constructive, productive state of mind?
Did you already know how to DJ at that point, or did you dabble in it before? Or?
No, my dad, he actually just, like any person in going through the 70s and 80s in college, he just had a good collection of vinyl, and I took his vinyl, and I was just so personally curious with music, and that's when I just started scratching and starting from the right way. And that's what I tell people nowadays, because anybody and everybody's a DJ nowadays. So start off the right way. It's like playing infield. I could give you a glove, but you're going to do a lot better with an oven mitt first, and then work your way up into the actual hardware.
Well, it's funny because we just played on YouTube. We were watching one of your interviews. I think it was with Michelle from Fox Sports, and you were teaching her how to spin on that, and she was just barely getting the hang of it. But that's definitely a skill,
So it's just one of those things. It's like, all right, you got to start. You got to crawl before you walk. So for me, it's fun to go back into my own, teaching mode. It's like, all right, how do I teach the technical aspect of something that I love so much?
But I think it all starts with passion. Like you said, this is our 12th episode, I think, and the one common denominator, and there's been a few, is that people that have succeeded in life like you, they do what they love to do. They lose time. There's a book called Outliers with Malcolm Gladwell where it talks about the 10,000 hours rule, and to master something,
exactly,
you got to put in the time, and it's hard to put in that time if you're getting paid by the hour, if you don't enjoy it. But when you just lose all time and you're going to sleep with your turntable, that's pretty funny.
It's the beauty.
And you wake up with it. We've got DJ Art Romero, who's the DJ for the San Diego Padres. And there was an incident that we're going to talk about a couple weeks ago that we'll get to. But first, we're going to hit our sponsors. And Benito, why don't you do our betting sponsor? One of the people that we attract to this business are people that like sports. And people that like sports, sometimes to make them a little bit more interesting, they put some money in the game, baby.
Just a little cash. So what do we do is we provide a lot of content out there, tell people about sports, tell people about money line spreads, just those kind of things about in the betting industry. We have a lot of friends. I came from Las Vegas, so we understand that whole industry, and we have actually teamed up with Bovada. We have on our link on our Facebook page, if you go to the 162 Experience, you could find the link. You sign up, and it'll become one of the affiliates in that program, and it'll give every kind of option you want, anything in under the sun, any kind of gambling thing you want, any sports betting information you want, it's right there. Just go to the webpage. It's the 162 Experience on our fan page, and you can have all you want right there.
Absolutely. And our other sponsor that's been with us since the beginning is Legal Shield. Legal Shield provides unlimited access to the legal system for businesses and individuals. And sometimes people think, hey, what, I need a lawyer? Everybody needs a lawyer. Whether you think that is just because you're conditioned to not use one. But what if it were $20 a month and you could have unlimited access to some of the best law firms in North America? And so not only have I been a member since 1998, but I've made a pretty lucrative career out of the financial opportunity as well. And so as one of their sponsors, we promote the membership, but we also promote the opportunity. So many people today just can't pay their bills on one or two incomes coming to the household, so they do stuff on the side. And so if you're interested in starting a home-based business, look us up online and we'll get one of our local associates in touch with you. So that's our sponsors for right now. And
one good thing about that, you were just talking about the Cancun trip,
Yeah.
Amazing time, huh?
Oh, so amazing. We had fun. It was great. And I got to do some comedy down there. I did 30 minutes, which was a lot of fun. And Benito, let's talk about sports before we get to DJ Art. Warriors are won 5 in a row right now, pretty handedly last night.
One of the funny things is we were talking before the game yesterday. Game 2 NBA Finals or any playoffs like that for that magnitude, LeBron James is undefeated in a Game 2.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That was the last stat I saw. Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, okay, are they going to come through? Are they going to, are they not going to lose by 30 again, And they got crushed, Can they actually come back? And I'm looking, at one point I'm looking at the coach for the Cavs. And he, one of my buddies told me this. He was one of the guys on the best crossovers, Allen Iverson. Mm-hmm. He was the guy that got worked. He got worked.
He got that step over.
Right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea about that. But that was just another crazy thing. But can the Cavs win Game 3 in Cleveland? What do you guys think?
Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Cavs are going to take Game 3. It's just the home team has such an advantage in these games. It blows my mind through all the different series. Toronto beating, and just everything that we watch. So I'm going with the Cavaliers in Game 3, even though they just got crushed last night. Take the points.
Yeah, I definitely would have thought LeBron was going to take I should have said the Cavaliers take game 2 based on the stat that you said. But these guys are dangerous, and that's the thing. When you're hot, you're hot. You only got 2 more left to win another back-to-back championship. So I think they're fired up, and I think LeBron might have too much on his workload, unfortunately.
But this is one of those, they have to win. It's a must win.
Talk about your back is against the wall.
And the Cavs are sticking with them for like the 3 quarters or up to that point, and all of a sudden, you got Curry, you got the Splash Brothers just starting to drain threes, and then it's like, can you cover the wings? Can you switch on that D coming around the pick and roll? It's like
back to the importance of the supporting cast on the team.
Right.
One guy can't do it all. So my question is LeBron going to leave Cleveland if they don't win? That's the thing. Is he going to go to L.A.? Because everybody's going to get interesting.
Everybody's talking Kevin
Durant. They're in the championships. They're in the finals.
You might as well do a super team. You might as well go to. I'm not even a Laker fan, obviously. I'm a San Diego Clippers fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe Kobe will come back.
Hey, 6 man.
You might get that resurgence.
Get that ring. Yeah. Retirement. Extra 401k with Jerry Buss. You never know.
You heard it first here. The super team in Los Angeles with LeBron and KD.
Kevin Durant. Would it be Westbrook too? Get him back in the UCLA, Westwood area.
Oh, man.
I'm saying basketball is a very dangerous game when it comes to contracts.
And in other news and sports, a sad day a couple days ago, Muhammad Ali, we hadn't had the chance to talk about this because I just flew in last night. DJ Art, initial thoughts on Muhammad Ali passing?
Too many of our greats in the music and sports industry now are unfortunately fading away. Some of them are meeting their time. But definitely one of those individuals who not just took under the sports world by storm, but almost like what we're dealing with now wasn't as bad as the 50s and the 60s as far as the African American movement and the injustice and prejudice and whatnot. But you talk about somebody standing up for himself, his community, and everybody else and what was right. And he was the epitome of it. And the fact that his heart didn't even want to stop towards the end of the death, I think is a good vision into who the man was. And it's unfortunate who we lost, but it's time to learn from his stories and take the quotes that you guys post on Facebook and translate them to your life. Don't just post it just because it's popular. Take that into account. You have to go buy a Muhammad Ali documentary or go watch something on Netflix. Do what you got to do to trigger your mind into being what that gentleman was the best he could do and the best his family wanted him to be. And that's absolutely
I totally
tragic.
agree with that. When I saw that night when Ali passed, ESPN, they took, I think, probably 8 or 9 of the sports anchors, and they all were like, what's your favorite quote? And they all went on. It's just giving me goosebumps thinking about that right now. And they all got up in front of camera and they're like, this is my favorite. They all read what they had to read, and it was just, and it's crazy because, and this is what sports does for us. And I think that's why we embrace this on our podcast, where it's like, everybody loves sports, but when you have that passion, when you go that extra mile and you just feel something where even people who aren't really into sports, but who has heard of Ali, everybody, so it's that whole, just the whole community. And it's bigger than just, tonight's fight or whatever the case may be. It's a huge thing.
Even the transformation of Cassius Clay into Muhammad Ali is its own great story. And Will Smith did a great job in the portrayal of that movie. Yeah. He undertook that role incredibly. But no, exactly what you said. I mean, it's definitely one of those things like Prince, David Bowie, Muhammad Ali. Unfortunately, now all of our heroes,
one thing I think about the story, and Steve, I want to ask you this too, is I think one thing when he passed, I was like, okay, now this is going to be another thing with the CTE, the brain injury thing.
Very true.
I thought so.
Very true. And I think people are going to be like, hey, are they going to start looking at it like that? Or are they just going to push it under the rug for now? Who knows? I don't know. Steve, what are your thoughts on Ali's?
I don't know if you saw Concussion.
I didn't.
Oh, man, I just saw it on a plane
Speaking
about
of Will Smith,
a week ago.
right?
Yeah, he was amazing in that.
Guy's everywhere. He saves the world.
He is. But I tell you, it's going to make watching football different again for me anyway. It was an intense movie.
And that's where I feel like, we all love American football. The hitting is part of the sport, but I think these guys should go to rugby rules, even take off the helmets and go strictly towards pads and make them tackle correctly, almost like a Roman wrestling, go back to the Greek style of, even like sumo. Yeah. Get those guys in there and really teach the technical aspect of it, because we're going to be dealing with it. And obviously NFL has their standpoint and the public has their standpoint as well. But I think that would definitely help. there's a lot of changes going on in every sport, with baseball, instant replay, and the DJing on the field, which we'll chime on in a little bit. But yeah, everything's changing. So either we got to adapt or stand firm on what we believe.
You heard it here live. Take off the helmet, says
right?
DJ Art.
Take off the helmet.
Could be his second controversy this month he's involved in.
Tackle correctly, guys. Let's keep each other safe.
Good stuff. So we're going to play a clip. This is... anything else we need to talk about? Oh, let's do this before we move on. Last week, and you're a big baseball fan, local guy.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, and one of the families, not only here locally, but probably the family in baseball is the Boone family. We had in the studio last week, Brett Boone, and if you haven't watched it yet, go back. It's probably... maybe our most exciting interview. Maybe it's because Benito and I love baseball so much, but he was telling stories about Roger Clemens beaming the head, and when he was a little kid, he used to sleep over Pete Rosa's house, and just so many fun stories. And so it's a great book. It's called Home Game by Brett Boone.
Very nice.
Same afternoon, I went over to his kids' Little League game, and I wanted to go. I didn't want to. Sometimes I'm weird. I didn't want him to think I was stalking him, and I was like. And so I got there, and he came over and shook my hand. He's like, "Hey, buddy, how you doing? Thanks for today." And then he calls me later that night. Not that the listeners really care about this, but to me, it says a lot about a person. He called me later that night just to thank me for coming. Isn't that cool? Just class act.
That's the thing. You gotta put aside all the media stuff, and you really have to just be a person. That's why throughout this entire ordeal, it's just I told everybody, all you really have to do is just be yourself.
And what are you going to do, right? You got to breathe 24 hours a day anyway.
Exactly. That's all I could do. I had to own up to the big error and go from there.
Yeah. One of the things that we always talk about, sort of a building block of this show, is something called personal development. It's got different names, but it's just, it's the people you hang out with, the environment, the associations that make you who you are. Because if you had been a different person when that situation went down, Art, you could have been resentful. You could act like a dick. But I think it's because of who you were, how you handled it.
I really appreciate that. Yeah. And, luckily for me, it's the way my parents raised me, and it's the way, and that's why I had to go into coaching after I played ball, because so many of my coaches, beyond coaching, they're just mentors and second, third, fourth fathers, people that I still talk to, and how to condone yourself on the field. And luckily for me, being a pitcher, and, I was the captain, and it was up to me, win or loss. So luckily, like I told you guys earlier, that translates into life, and luckily kind of got me out of this pickle.
Hey, before we play this clip, we're going to play a quick news clip. Did you have a lot of those coaches or friends and family reach out to you the last 3 weeks?
I did. My high school coach, Coach Flores from Calexico High School, actually when I graduated from there, he contacted me. Coach Koyman from Rancho Bernardo High School, he contacted me on Facebook, and it's like, dude, we know who you are. We know what happened, and we know you owned up to the mistake, and we hope everything works out. And luckily it did. So, and just to have them reach out to me, and then even have the kids that I coach reach out to me as well, because that was the first time I teared up through the entire process when the kids that I coached a couple years ago contacted me. Hey, Coach Art,
See, I think that's a great story because nobody sees it. Everybody sees what's going on in the media, front level.
Which is cool, it's exactly what you said, and people are going to dig to what they want to dig, but there's a lot more to me than what people have seen, and certain people, like you said, know what I've done in the community, and doing toy drives and coaching and volunteering and working with the city of San Diego and running summer camps, all that well. So for me, it's just nice to have that, shed the light, you know what I mean, after, the firestorm, what happened.
That's one of the benefits of just doing good, is when something like this happens, you have that to fall back on.
Luckily my resume was right there for everybody.
That's awesome. Okay, for those of you that had no idea what we're talking about and didn't see this story break a couple weeks ago, we're going to play a news clip. There was a lot of them. There was the New York Daily News did a big story on. There was a lot.
Yeah,
this is this will just be a local one, local ABC affiliate. We're going to play that just about 2 minutes, and then we'll go to you and we'll just talk about it.
Definitely.
All right, new developments in the uproar over the gay men's chorus mishap at Petco Park Saturday night. The singers left shocked and stunned on the field. They're now calling on the Padres to rehire the DJ responsible for that. 10 News reporter Steve Fiorina joins us live. And Steve, this has been bad PR for the Padres and for San Diego.
The Padres quickly apologized. They fired that DJ. Now, he apologized as well. That's been accepted by the gay men's chorus. And it, along with a local talk show host, are campaigning to get the job back and utilizing a petition drive. Art Romero bluntly assessed his actions at Petco Park Saturday night.
One of the worst days of my life, and I made a big mistake.
The San Diego Gay Men's Chorus took the field to sing the national anthem before the game. But Romero, the sound technician, played the wrong tape. Worse, he let it play through.
A lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas.
The chorus stood there embarrassed. Romero, who goes by the name DJ ArtForm, admitted it would not have been complicated to shut it down.
It's one button, correct. It is it's a certain program that I use, a software, and it does have a tab where you do select a song, and unfortunately the song wasn't there. And I went to the first thing I had, which was the pre-recording from the night before of a female vocal artist, a solo vocal artist.
The leader of the chorus later told 10 News how hurtful it was.
To be embarrassed on, TV in front of all your family and friends and all of San Diego, it was pretty rough.
The Padres apologized to the community, and though the organization found no evidence of malicious intent, it fired DJ ArtForm. Public sentiment, though, quickly swung the other direction.
Man, what a difference a day makes.
Kogo radio talk show host Carl DeMaio has started a petition drive to get his job back.
Clearly, the Gay Men's Chorus overreacted. And in response to their pressure, the Padres overreacted. And a guy who made an innocent mistake lost his job.
DeMaio, who is openly gay, firmly believes Romero should be forgiven.
This was not homophobic whatsoever. This guy clearly, he's been a supporter of the LGBT community. It was an honest mistake.
Romero is thankful for the support.
I couldn't be more humbled and grateful.
Major League Baseball has launched an investigation and questioned Romero this afternoon. Padres say there will be no comment, no action until after that investigation is complete. And as for that petition, 2,000 signatures since early this afternoon. Live at Petco Park, Steve Fiorina, 10 News.
What the hell happened?
Wild. Well, I'm glad the investigation's over and we're here talking to you guys in a productive light. But yeah, even nationwide, it was worldwide. I got some screenshots from Australia and Switzerland about what happened. But yeah, you guys have seen the stories and the videos. It was like getting kicked in the stomach by a mule and not doing my job correctly and not uploading the right song. And unfortunately, you guys saw what played out. It was the pre-recording from the night before, and people that were at the stadium, I've had several staff members at Petco Park. They're like, we know exactly what happened once we heard the same recording from the night before. But the thing is with me, is like I don't take that error and mistake lightly. That's why I had to reach out to the choir members personally before I reached out to any media, before any public statement. And luckily, I have family members who are friends with them within the community. And they know who I was. And, luckily they stood behind me as a person. And I was able to explain exactly what happened, because it's all speculation. Obviously, it was all over the news. And, everybody's going to chime in and have their own opinion. So it's like, all right, no more opinion. It's like I had to hit them with the fact of what happened, let them know there was no malicious intent. It's like, why would I get myself fired on purpose for what? There's no reason behind this.
Yeah. And so let's take us back, Art, to earlier in the day. You were one of, I think, the only DJ in Major League Baseball that actually is on the field for batting practice, and you're interacting with the players. So take us back a little bit before the incident that day, if you can remember. And did you know they were singing? Did you know the chorus was there?
Yeah. The fact that I'm on the field during BP, that was our CMO's decision, and I think it's absolutely amazing to kind of change the culture of baseball, because you guys see the way hockey is and football and basketball. It's a lot more interactive and so a faster paced game in a sense. So we try to keep everybody engaged. And so for me to be there, obviously doing my job, I have so many different roles in the sense of just putting on different masks. So going on the field and DJing, and then running upstairs and doing all the programming for the game. So, I was going through my regular tasks throughout the day and uploading music. Matt Kemp changed his walk-up song. Cesar Vargas, one of the pitchers, changed his song. So, going through my mental checklist and what to do and what to upload, and uploading the DJ music as well, and going upstairs and trimming everything. And it was unfortunately the one thing that I missed out on, because the recording said September 20th. So I had a mental lapse once I saw September 20th. I didn't think May 20 or May, whatever it was, 18th, whatever the actual date was. So that's when I had that mental lapse once I saw the wrong tab. So that's why I contacted Bob, and I contacted, members of the choir, and I was like, hey, this is totally my fault, and I don't want you guys to think
So for those that don't know what happened, so you so this is before the game. This isn't the 7th inning stretch. This is before the game.
Yeah, so this is obviously national anthems. We're talking 5-6 minutes before the actual game starts.
So how long were you actually up in the box? Like, so you go up to the box, were you there for like 30 seconds, 20 minutes before this happens?
I don't really recall. God, that day was such a whirlwind. You know
and I guess I'm just trying to see if you were flustered or what was going on.
Oh, I mean, there's just a lot of movement because I go straight from the field all the way upstairs. You got production meetings going on. I'm highlighting stuff. There's changes in the guitar cam or air shuffle, whatever. So there's just a lot of movement going on. So definitely, I wish I could tell you to really retrace each step. But that's why I told MLB. It was like, it's just, you go through your daily process. You know what I mean? It's almost like if you get in a car accident, it's like, what happened? You're like, I don't know. It's just going through my daily routine, and these things just happen. So.
And so the choir's on the field.
Yeah, choir's on the field, and national anthem. I thought it was live. I didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? It's just such a whirlwind of it's just one of those things where time really speeds up on you. You know what I mean? And even does the opposite. It slows down.
I bet that was the longest couple minutes of your life.
Oh, yeah. Every minute felt like an hour. So,
but I guess the only real mistake that you might have made is that they hit the wrong button. You were given the wrong information, but then you're listening to it and you think. That's
a lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas. And, I wish I could have had the decision to either turn it down or make the executive decision. But unfortunately, it played out the way it did. And even with the MLB investigation, my boss was in a car accident the night before. So a lot of things talk about the snowball effect. You know what I mean?
And did you have anybody in your ear as you're doing this saying, stop it or play it or don't do this? Or are you by yourself at that point?
No, there's all of us in the control room, but it's just one of those things where, we're all in a state of shock and panic. So it's just what played out.
And then you were still in the booth the rest of the game?
Yeah, so just a matter of just, after a mistake like that, you really got to let it go, even though it was such a huge, and I felt devastated by it, obviously. But it's just like, all right, I got to...
So during the game, did your phone start blowing up?
I turned it upside down, yeah. No, it's one of those things where...
So you knew right away this was bad?
Yeah, I didn't... I wasn't sure the life it was going to take, and unfortunately it did, and that's why I understand the sensitivity of the issue.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't take it lightly, even now, a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
I'm not one just trying to brush away any of the attention. It's like, okay, well, he's got the limelight off of him, now he gets to go relax. Like, no, it's time to be constructive with what happened in the community, and even doing the Indie Fest last Friday was definitely one of the first.
Tell us about that.
It was a great Indie Fest with Danielle Lopresti, Alicia Champion.
Nice.
It's a great event that went on over there at the Music Box. I opened up with Adam Joseph. He's one of the gay dance pop artists. So for me, it was just one of those things like, all right, so all the people out there that really don't know me and didn't know me, it's like, no, you really get to know me. Now. Yeah, so thank you for allowing, for giving me the momentum and giving me that support, you know what I mean? Because obviously as adults and as human beings and as artists, we are very exposed, my heart's on my sleeve. So, to have the support from the community and to have Jody reach out to me from the production crew and ask me if I would like to be a part of it, to me, it was just like, I'm hands on. And I was kind of hoping for the choir to jump into the festival, but unfortunately I had some scheduling conflicts. So that's why for me, it's just like, all right, what can we really do to make it build and continue to grow from this?
So when the Padres, they're going to have obviously the choir back again, probably on the field. Are you going to be in that? Are you going to be from the sound booth? Is that talked about yet? Or?
No, nothing has been discussed. But I remember when we were going through that discussion lightly, as far as some friends of mine, I was like, yeah, I'd like to be on the field with them.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Sure.
I know I'd probably have some practicing to do with my vocal cords, but I would definitely like to be whatever they'd like me to do, with all due respect to them. It's not like, I get to go sing, whatever Mr. Lehman, if he would like me to be a part of it, by all means, whatever he'd like to do, he has my support and I support them and vice versa. So it's all just full circle.
And did you get fired right away, or did the Padres, what happened that night later?
It was the next day. So after the...
it was a 17-inning game, too.
It was a 17-inning game. So after that, It's kind of like being a ball player, getting called into the office, and it's kind of your.
I mean, did you think that was a possibility that you would get released?
You know, it was one of those things when I was doing the game. I was like, shoot, I'm a very instinctful person. I was like, what if this is my last game? I just wasn't sure exactly what was going to come out of it.
Yeah.
But I did have that slight indication. But obviously, you don't want to shed light to the negativity in your mind. So, I tried not to dive into it too much.
Were you on the field the next day, the Sunday? First prevent practice too?
No.
Okay.
First day back was Friday.
Okay.
This past Friday, so against the Rockets.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, this is your first game back.
Yeah, so last Friday and then yesterday because the game got pushed back for the Rock and Roll Marathon.
Oh, that's right. And the Padres were out of town.
Yeah.
The Padres were out of town.
Yeah, so Friday was my first game back, and it was just great to see the response from the players and the coaches, and Mark McGuire giving me a big old bear hug, and Coach Brock and Brandon Maurer and Andrew Kashner and Melvin Upton. That's what I was telling you guys, to have somebody like McGuire, a childhood idol of mine, come up to me. It's like, hey, Wayman, we missed you. It's good to have you back.
I mean, just hearing about it, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
For those that don't know, he's the hitting coach now with the Padres.
You talk about really going back to your art and your craft, and really, trying to get better every single day, because really there's no more room to let anybody down.
And what was the Major League Baseball investigation like? Because they're some serious investigators, right?
I mean, it's New York. New York's New York. But
Did they fly in, or you flew out?
It was a phone conference.
Oh, okay.
No, they were great. They were. I know it sounds MLB, but they were beyond great and receptive, and they understood the situation, and they heard my story, and I was able to explain very detailed as far as what happened, and that's what I'm saying. That's as from an investigator standpoint, just try to get the truth. And luckily for them, they told me, it's like, we knew the truth before you even spoke to us, but you didn't even have to talk to us, but you just solidified what we already knew. So that's why for me, it's like, yeah, you have this fear, intestinally. It's like, what do I do? Do I own up to this mistake? And obviously, as you guys saw, and even right now, it's one of those things that I was like, all right, I made a mistake. I hurt members of my family who are part of the LGBT community. So that's why I don't take this lightly at all, and it's not a joke.
Sure. A couple things to point out. Before social media 10 or 20 years ago, this story I don't think would have got legs at all, right? I mean, I just don't think, even though it's a big story, I just don't think it would have got. But because of social media now, I just think that blows it up, that much faster, And then, I don't know, Benito, what do you think?
Well, it's interesting because when I heard about this, I was actually out of town, and Steve calls me and he's like, "Hey, did you hear about what's going on?" And I was like, "What?" And it was funny because I had the phone on speakerphone, and my mom was right next to me, and she's like, "What?" She's hitting me. She's like, "You didn't hear about this?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't. I had no idea." And I started watching interviews, and I started watching just different people talk to you about what was going on, and I was like, "Well, this is more than just just a mess up. This is it's and how sorry you were." And I was like, I could see that through the TV and everything. And I was just like, wow, this is going to be an interesting story. It's going to be a great story. And just for you, for the hometown San Diego guy, I mean, I think it's just great to tell your story and just,
Yeah, that's why for me, I had my friend Aida that works for Fox 5. And obviously, instinctively, the first thing I wanted to do was just go to Mammoth and go disappear for like a month, I mean, just feeling horrible for not doing my job.
But the other thing that I just want to say, while I have a short-term memory or I'll forget it, is, okay, so it blows up with social media, but there's so many people that make real mistakes. Like they say something stupid or racist or sexist or just whatever, and okay, so you hit a wrong button and whatever, but I mean, you didn't even do anything. I mean, you did nothing from your heart or your soul that would ever be a mean-spirited thing towards anybody else. So let's put that out of the way.
Yeah.
So you're not, when you're apologizing, okay. But I mean, in my opinion, you don't have anything to apologize for, except, you make 1,000 decisions a night up there. You're doing 1,000 different things, and you hit one wrong button, and then you're like, oh, you sort of froze, or I don't know what to do.
Yep.
And well, we appreciate you coming in, telling your story. Benito, you got any more questions about the incident itself?
Well, I want to know, so right after the game ends, and I know you're probably going through like, oh shit, I messed up, this, that, and the other, but so what did you do? For the next couple hours? Was it just, gathering your thoughts, thinking about the next day?
It was, I'm glad I collected myself to finish the game, but then at the same time, I knew, I hold myself extremely accountable.
Did you clear out your locker?
mentally I cleared it. It's just like, all right. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, gosh, I was just so devastated by the error and what had happened. That's why, you try not to feed into too much, but it was definitely, I can't be there for half an hour, just for, say, for example, half hour of the thought, but I had to spend a good 10 minutes into saying, all right, this is what happened. It was a big mistake. Now, what can you do not to make this error again? Yeah. So it's like a matter of just shifting the mindset. But no, don't get me wrong. I still wake up with it every morning. As far as what happened. That's why
well, we forgive you from the 162 experience.
I appreciate it. No, it definitely fuels my fire.
We think you're cool as shit.
I appreciate it, guys.
I want to ask you one question about the MLB investigation. We'll go back to that for 1 second.
Was Joe Torre there? That's what I want to know.
No.
Because when I think about MLB investigations, I think about going back to Boone and, Juiced and all this steroid where people, I mean, this is serious stuff going on. And it's like, when they did that conference call with you, was there one question they asked where you're like, oh, I mean, stumped you? I don't know. I don't think that's the right word. I just want to say, was it like, wow, that's an in-depth question. I haven't thought about that.
Mostly it was general, but in-depth as far as leading up to the process. How long have you been training for? How long have you been doing this? So for me, I had to go back into my mind and be like, okay, well, I've been DJing for 6-7 years, but I've only been doing the control room for 2 months.
Okay. It was your first season?
Yeah, first season. I got hired in February, so my first game was April 1st.
Oh, wow. You see that's people don't know that.
So you're talking about fourth homestand. And that's like, I'm not going to sit here because I was doing good. I felt like I was getting my props, and people were telling me, man, I can really feel the energy and the excitement. It's just, I had this horrible hiccup. And
well, it's crazy because I go to every game, and if I'm not at a Padres game, I'm somewhere going to a game. And it didn't even dawn on me that there's so much intricacy going on.
I had no idea. I've been going to baseball games my entire life. And once I went upstairs to the production room and I saw the script, I was like, holy cow, this is no joke. There's literally 17 things going on every half inning. Videos, lights, sound. Oh my Lord.
How'd you get that job? Did you interview for it? Or?
It was a DJ tryout, because I DJ'd last summer at the membership lounge. And as the season wrapped up, I just try to be as professional as possible. I sent up a follow-up email. I said, hey, I want to make sure I'm in her inbox and make sure I'm visible there. DJ ArtForm's there. And they were talking about changing the entertainment aspect of the Padres and Petco Park and the DJ and entertainment aspect. Wow. Went through the DJ tryout, about, I believe, maybe 10, 14 DJs. I did a live DJ set at Petco, about 10, 15 minutes. I made a video for them,
And you're using their equipment. You're not bringing your own stuff for that?
I was bringing my turntables,
Okay, cool. Because I was going to say, that'd be hard to interview using someone else's stuff.
Yeah, no. It's even like doing live shows.
The ones you fell asleep to? Right next to your bed? You brought those ones?
No, different. I finally upgraded.
Hey, and I want to do a shout out. If you're on film, you can see Robert. Robert's actually the one that booked you, and we appreciate it. I guess Robert works at Fox, does a night shift, and you were getting interviewed
Robert
on
reached out to me. Did that interview with Trevor Hoffman, Mike Sweeney, and David Wells.
Really?
About maybe 9-10 days ago.
Nice.
It's a nice little.
And was it about you? I mean, that was.
Oh no, thank God, no. No, it was about just the All-Star Game feature, and they were actually promoting their barbecue spot up there in Mammoth called Toomey's.
They own it together?
Mike Sweeney, really? Trevor, and David Wells. Wow. I believe they're all business partners. So luckily, the gentleman from up there, they gave me a nice little invite. So
that's cool. And where's that at now?
In Mammoth, Mammoth Lakes.
Oh man, we gotta
go to Mammoth.
We've been
do some fly fishing.
We want to have David Wells on the show so bad, but he doesn't return any of my Facebook messages.
And Boomer. Yeah, but just good guys. Yeah, we just shed light, and obviously Raul, and obviously coming out with the statement on Fox 5 and what had happened, and then the transition. And it was nice to kind of have them being like, hey, it's nice to have you back. It's nice to be back, and just kind of moving the progressive light from there.
Of everybody that embraced you, was there one from the players or coaches? I know you said McGuire and the guys on the field. And so was there one that stood out to you as like, that was just super cool?
God, it's all so cool. It's, it's tough to separate. But, to me right now, I just have a really good friendship with, and not like it goes outside of the ballpark, but Brandon Maurer right now, we just hit it off, but we just like, he's my boy, you know what I mean? Yeah. And for me, for being a former baseball player, I definitely feel that way. But definitely Brandon Maurer and Melvin Upton, they're like, hey man, just let you know we have your back, and good to have you back. And that's why, to me, even Dick Enberg and Mudcat, Mark Sweeney, staff members, I'm telling you, just it's so humbling, humbling.
So take us back to that first day. Right when you got the gig, you were like, hey, you wanted to have that follow-up email, and they say, yes, we're going to have you come on the field. Like, take us to that first day and just what were you feeling?
Pure excitement. And I even told, I couldn't have even thought about this. It's when your dreams and your wildest dreams kind of fuse into one. I could have never thought baseball and DJing was going to be my job, you know what I mean, as an adult. So I'm saying you never know. And that's the beauty of it. You just have to, you kind of have to be selfish about your passion and what you do. Because I quit my job with the government 2.5 years ago to do this.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
31.
Okay, cool.
So, and I had to make that transition. And
what were you doing?
I'm a kinesiology major, but I was doing running a teen center and a lot of coaching basketball, baseball, flag football, soccer. Running the summer camps, ages 5 to 12. So a lot of mentoring.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm just a big kid personally. So for me, that's why I like working with kids. And I think that's what made me handle the situation the way I did, because kids are 100% honest. And that's why I love working with them, because they shoot straight from the hip and they'll tell you the way it is. And there's no time to BS with a child's future or discipline or whatnot. So this is, luckily for me, I'm glad the road met where it did, and I was able to show my DNA to not just San Diego, the nation, and the world for who I am as a person and as a DJ and passionate individual.
Absolutely. And go ahead.
So what we're doing on our podcast is we're merging basically the sports world with the business world. Mm-hmm. That's our premise. Now, I'm thinking you're merging the sports with the baseball world with DJing, and I think that's freaking awesome. And one thing I was thinking about is, so Petco's one of the first parks that has a DJ on the field, playing everybody's song right there. In your opinion, as a Padres fan, and they want to take the entertainment to the next level, what's one thing you would add, just saying like, you guys, we need to do this for more fan love of the game, whatever you can bring to the stage?
That is a very good intro. That deserves a whole nother interview right there.
When are you coming back next Wednesday?
Right? That's going to be fun. No, but there's some, because that's the thing. I was actually having a discussion with somebody in San Francisco a couple weeks ago, and I told them the interest of baseball from the youth standpoint is being lost. And a lot of the kids are going to lacrosse. So they want something more aggressive, more physical. And I get it, because, I mean, how many of the kids are actually going to translate and go into play? I mean, as somebody from Rancho Bernardo, how many people, how many kids, how many athletes we got drafted from first round all the way through the 50th round? And obviously only Cole Hamels, Hank Blaylock were really the gentlemen to really establish themselves within the MLB. And you get those first rounders who are doing real estate or who are contractors. So that's why for me, and I was telling you guys earlier, to shed light on the importance is, how do you translate from the sports world into life? Because you get a lot of issues. And I mean, hell, yesterday I was watching the documentary on Jake the Snake Roberts and what happened to his fallout, his career after wrestling and after the Hall of Fame, and his addiction into drugs and alcohol. And it took Diamond Dallas Page to come start doing yoga with him and doing a whole intervention with him to get him back on track. And he shows up at WrestleMania and he shows up at Royal Rumble. So it just goes to show you, it's just, when you, like I said, when you're that passionate about your life and what you've done your entire career, and once it's over, it's tough to kind of go back into what's normal. How can I be appreciated? And like for me, it was tough after I was done playing baseball. I go to Thanksgiving dinners and how's baseball? And I'm just like, I haven't played in 2 years. And it's like, oh, bunt cake. You know what I mean? Let's go over there and talk to that guy. So they're not sure who you are as a person. So that's why for me, to have music there as a savior and to show my soul.
Tell us what music means to you.
Oh, life. It's heartbeat. You know, it's rhythm, it's everything. I try not to play music all the time, but it just gives it it's life soundtrack to me. That's why I think music can either bring you up or bring you down and put you in a great state of mind, or an ex-girlfriend, an ex-boyfriend, or some beautiful moment that you had in Europe. And it's just very, very powerful. And even in the scientific research aspect, even people with Alzheimer's, and triggering them with old sounds and music, and really neurologically going into that aspect of it. So for me, that's what I would like to do, is more fusing the music background, even my kinesiology background into child development, and even doing a music program with children, even locomotor and physical motor domination and all that. So definitely, for me, luckily the support was there, and it gave me a chance to take a deep breath from life and really move forward from this perfect storm, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I think the important thing is you're doing what you want with your life.
Definitely. I really appreciate that.
I mean, that's
well, you
inspiring.
only get one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Last time I checked.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
hey, couple follow-up, couple questions, we'll wrap up. And I know you've been busy and you got a lot of stuff going on.
Definitely.
So you guys have a game tonight?
There is. They're playing the Braves.
Oh, the Braves. That should be a W.
Braves are coming in. So probably head in tonight and kind of catch the ball game.
Cool. And so you set up, so you do the pregame, and then do you guys do intro music for the opposing players too?
No, never.
Okay. So when they walk up, it's silent.
That's why 2 weeks ago I played the Enya soundtrack during the San Francisco Giants batting practice. We got a little heat for it, but it worked. Funny. Bruce Bochy called upstairs and told us to shut it off.
Oh, that's hilarious.
We had to tell him no.
This
hilarious. Is our ballpark, so
that's great.
No, I play the Frozen soundtrack if I could. Anything to psychologically check out the opposing team.
So you feel like you're part of the team?
Since 85, luckily. Just now really validated, you know what I mean? But for me, that's why I just talk about a dream come true to be a San Diego fan, even Ed Whitson being my neighbor.
Oh, nice.
Heck, I remember looking at the old tapes when I was born. My dad was videotaping the Padres playing the Cubs in 85. The day before I was born, he'd pan out to the TV and then he'd go to my mom, back to the TV. No, but definitely in my blood. And it's like I was telling even on Fox, I would take my mom's powdered sugar from the kitchen and go lie in the backyard like a baseball diamond.
That's awesome.
And make my grandma, I think I knocked out her front tooth actually. I think I threw the dirty change one time.
Oh, so you were pitching to her. She wasn't pitching to you?
I had to buy her a mask for Mother's Day, Grandmother's Day.
That's great.
No, definitely honored to be here with you guys, and I appreciate you guys allowing me to.
Cool. We always ask the same question, and do you have anything you want to ask before we wrap it up?
About being a Padres fan. Like, what do you think their organization is? What's going on with them? They're having the catcher pitch. It's like James Shields. He just shipped him away.
Yep.
I mean, are they going to bring some new players on? Do you hear anything? Do you want anything to happen?
I wish I had more insight on the managerial, not even managerial, on the general manager's aspect, because Coach Green's doing what he can. You know what I mean? You're given the chess pieces. It's up to you the way you move them. And as a baseball coach, there's a lot of things to think about, and people need to be considerate of that. But from a organization, AJ Preller has a vision. You know what I mean? The same way if I have a vision for a certain music festival or a certain production, people have to trust me. So right now, and that's his job. And you really have to analyze things. And obviously right now people are kind of losing their patience. But that's why there's 162 games. There's not 82, there's not 86. So It's a long season. So, and these guys are human too. So that's the one thing you have to understand as well.
So we're going to be going into All-Star Week here in about a month. So usually what happens, the home team has a player that's going to represent.
Correct.
So, I mean, who do you think is going to be there?
You know what? It's still, you have about a month to get hot. But there's a lot of guys that really could. Matt could be there. Melvin could be there.
He just hit a home run the other night.
That's
what is he betting right now, Kemp?
I'm not even sure.
I think it's high 200s, but he just hit that 3-run blast the other night. That was just, oh man, the crowd went wild.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen crazier stuff happen. Even Brandon Maurer could come out of the bullpen. Fernando Rodney. So that's what I'm saying.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
I've been, as an American League guy, the Yankees against him all the time. It was fun.
Yeah, he was funny to come up to me and gave me a big hug in Spanish. ¿Qué pasó, DJ? But that's the thing is with baseball. The moment you start to don't believe the hype, you know what I mean? Don't listen to it. And even like with Derek Norris, he walks out to that Panda track. So I went to Trader Joe's and I bought him a cereal called Panda Puffs. So, hey man, whatever works, put it in your locker room. Because obviously you guys know we're very superstitious. So.
Oh yeah. Sure.
I haven't even changed socks in about 2 weeks if we win. So that's just my stilo.
And just so you know, we're getting a lot of great feedback on your Facebook page, my Facebook page.
Very cool.
People just love you telling your story. And,
I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, and humanizing it and stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and wrap up. We'll ask your final question.
I want to just find out just where people can reach you. If they want to get in touch with you, is there Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, you know what? I'm very very active on Instagram, Facebook. So all the handles on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's all DJ ArtForm. There's no underscores, no 619-858. So even the website, DJArtForm.com.
When did you have that? When did you get that name?
DJ ArtForm. When I first jumped into the scene about 6 years ago,
Nice.
I was like, you know what? How could I use my name in a way? And I obviously Googled the heck out of it to see if there's any other art forms, and I was surprised to see that there wasn't.
I got to tell you, I saw this logo and I was like, if you guys haven't seen it, there it is right here.
I appreciate it.
And this is sick.
Aled the Wonder Bread is my graphic designer. Him and Liquor Store Mike as well. They've been making some cool
Those are
stuff.
some great names.
I'm telling you, I got a
Does
great
Mike
little...
drink?
He does. He's a Dodger fan though, so that's the only thing I hold against him.
That's fun.
But no, great, talented artist. That's why for me, it's just like, I tell them, you guys are more talented than me. You guys are putting the face on it. So I'm just really humbled to have, San Diego showcase their artistic creativity. It's beautiful.
I think it's great. Just traveling around, as you know, I've been to almost all the ballparks, did my 162, and everything. If I had a complaint, some of it's just so standardized. They play the same song every night, and they play the same. To be able to mix it up and to add music to the life is a lot of fun. Hey, final question. At age 18, if you were going to give yourself advice, knowing what you know today and all the experiences you've had, what advice would you give Art Romero?
Don't give up, kid. You're going to get knocked down, but just don't give up. That's just part of it. That's why you get 4 at-bats. It depends how you look at it in life. And that's why for me, it's just like you throw a ball, there's another opportunity to throw a strike. So that's why for me, it would definitely be, I tell myself, don't give up, kid.
Absolutely.
Trust yourself.
And I'll say this, Benito, and I'll let you close. There's an old saying that it's not what happens to you in life, but it's how you react to what happens. And the winds of life, Jim Rohn said, blow on us all, but it's how you set your sail. And great guy. Thanks for coming. We appreciate
you guys. I really appreciate you guys having me.
Appreciate it. And there you have it, guys. DJ ArtForm in our studios today. We love the interview. Great to meet you.
Thank you, folks. Likewise.
So that's it. If you have any questions, follow us on the fan page at The 162 Experience. And we are out.
It's a wrap.
You.